I'm Amy Mahali from Be Well Clinic, and in today's video, I want to discuss the basics of the hormone cascade. So this is things like estrogen, progesterone, cortisol, testosterone, and I want to discuss what is happening when those get out of balance. Of course, this is not exactly what you are dealing with, but hopefully it can give you some clues and words and verbiage to be able to work with someone like us or someone near you that can help figure out what's going on in your body. This really is quite a part 2 to the video that we did a couple weeks ago on the HPA axis and the relationship of endocrine organs. So it may be a good idea to open a tab, the link's below, go watch that video and then come back here. Let's go ahead and get into this video about hormones, and you can review both of them as much as needed to help figure out what you need for your body. Okay, let's pull up the hormone cascade. This is a simplified version. Obviously, there's a lot more things about hormones, but this gives a good picture of what's happening with some of the key players that we have in our bodies and what's going wrong. So the first thing I always point out, and why I actually bring this out a lot, is because I want to talk about cholesterol. Cholesterol is from animal fat, and we have other videos on this channel about animal fat and cholesterol and why it's important in our bodies. But this is one of the reasons that was proof for me of why we needed animal fat, and one of the proofs that we are doing the wrong thing. The more low fat we push, the more heart disease we have, sure, but we're also having a lot more infertility, hormone imbalances, poor sleep, poor stress tolerance, right? And for me, I see a huge correlation between the amount of fat that's eaten and the amount of stress that you have or don't have. So that's a bit of a sidebar. And we'll talk more about that, and again, the relationship of the different endocrine organs come into play when we talk about stressors and what's happening with the hormone tree here. So let's look at that, and you can go back and forth and refer if needed. Okay, number 1, we need cholesterol to make all these hormones. Testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, cortisol, androgens, they're all made from cholesterol. We can get cholesterol from the food that we eat, animal fat, or we can make it from carbohydrates in our liver. It is a resource-heavy process to make it in our liver. The liver has to work hard. Our livers are already working hard enough. Don't make your liver work harder. Just eat animal fat. You can watch some other videos if you need to learn more about that. We take cholesterol. It turns into pregnenolone and then branches out. So over here we have our progesterone and cortisol. Progesterone, and you can just see how this is. I'm not going to try to point to the right things because I can't see it very well. But we have progesterone here and cortisol here. If we are stressed, a lot of people will end up with lower progesterone and high cortisol. This makes sense. Why? Because if you are feeling like you have to run away from a tiger, that will take precedence over anything else. Being contented, having balanced blood sugar, having fair, nice skin, getting pregnant, reproducing, maintaining a pregnancy, those things are secondary if your body is in that fight or flight state. This is where that HPA axis comes in, so the other video. If you have your hypothalamus and pituitary sensing a threat, whether it's real or perceived, it doesn't matter, it will send signals to the rest of the organs to be in this stress state. The adrenals will produce a lot of adrenaline, which turns on cortisol, and then we get this high cortisol demand. A lot of people are low in progesterone, especially women, right? Low in progesterone, high in cortisol. It also comes over to this side. So going this way, we have our DHEA, which then converts down to our testosterone and our estrogen. This actually is in play for women, but also in play often for men. You may see symptomatically for men high estrogen, low testosterone. This usually gives people a beer belly. So if you're feeling like, man, my muscle tone is not as good, my libido's not as good, my just energy and stamina is not as good as it was when I was younger or before the stressful thing happened, this is probably what's happening. Your estrogen is high, your testosterone has dropped, and your body is taking a lot of that cholesterol to make cortisol to keep you going, to run away from the tiger, to be alert and ready to move if you need to move and get your body somewhere fast. If we live in that state, we're going to perpetuate that. We're going to end up with a beer belly because we're storing sugar for later. We are going to have low testosterone because reproduction is not important. And we are going to have high cortisol and lower progesterone. Again, that comes into play more with women. And with women, when we think about low progesterone, this is also for maintenance of pregnancy. So if you have a low progesterone or you have a very stressful event, we sometimes see a loss of the baby when you have a very stressful event or your body is extremely stressed. Women who have trouble maintaining pregnancies, especially early losses, this is often what's happening, is that progesterone is dropping to convert to cortisol and the body just can't maintain the pregnancy. The other thing that we can see is that the estrogen in women can be really high and the progesterone can be low and the cortisol can be high. So high, low is how a lot of people end up. It looks a little different in men and women. There can be other patterns that happen, but hopefully this is enough to kind of give you some picture of what might be going on in your body. So from this video, you're not going to be able to figure out exactly what's going on, but working with us or another practitioner that understands this is going to be really helpful. And I just wanted to give you some verbiage and information to be able to explore this for you. Okay, let's talk about some things we can do about it even before you know exactly what's happening. I'm a big fan of only doing testing when you need it, when it's going to change what we do. So whenever I'm seeing someone for hormone imbalance, whether it's sleep issues, blood sugar issues, infertility issues, weird periods, low libido, low testosterone concerns, all those kind of things, even mental like stress, brain fog, things like that, can all potentially be hormonal. And the first things that I will do is assess what's going on in the endocrine organs. There's different ways I assess that. That's again in that video talking about what's happening. And I will also have the foundation come. And this is where the bridge over comes. So cholesterol, important for these hormones. Cortisol, stealing the cholesterol to stay alive because your body perceives threat. Who's perceiving threat? Is it the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland, the adrenals, the thyroid? Is your ovaries really off because something happened, some toxicity, maybe birth control usage that threw your body off, right? Why is the body feeling stressed? Why does it feel like it needs to run away all the time? Remember I said real or perceived threat will increase the cortisol production? So this can also be in the camp of past traumas. So PTSD response, having a confrontation that you're looking ahead to, not looking forward to, but looking ahead to, and your body is stressing about that for days or weeks. Feeling like you're not ready for getting up for another week on Sunday morning. Monday's coming, I'm stressed consistently, right? So it can be a stress, it can be a perceived stress, or a looking forward to stress. Anytime our body's in that sympathetic dominant state, or fight or flight, we are going to be in this state of hormone balance. So how do we help our bodies be well? We have to get out of that state. And that's why it's really important to know about the HPA axis, what's happening there. I think this is helpful to know because it's not just my estrogen is whacked, right? My estrogen is whacked because something else is wrong. And when you can start diving in to figure this out and then figure out what endocrine organs it's coming from, then you can start doing something about it. One of the first things you can do is eat more fat. Not only does it help with this, but it's also going to help your adrenals and your thyroid and your nervous system. Cholesterol is soothing to our nerves. It is feeding to the thyroid and feeding to the adrenal glands. It also is going to help the liver cleanse toxins. So look at that bucket metaphor video that we have. I'll link that below also. If we eat fat, we're going to release toxins out of our body, which also lets our body be in a more relaxed and calm state. So all of these different things are really, really helpful for the body to be more well, and eating fat is the thing. So when people ask me, what is the most important thing to do? Or if I say, if someone will only do one thing, I will tell them to eat more fat. And this is part of why it's so essential in every single aspect of human existence and health and balance. Okay, so there is my little soapbox about eating more animal fat. I hope that you are a little more convinced or fully convinced about that. You can struggle to eat more animal fat if you haven't eaten it for a while, so go slow. Beets can really help to thin the bile and get your fat digestion capacity increased. Again, you can always work with us. We are expert at helping people do this because it's a very common problem that people have. And hopefully this gives you a little more idea about how to balance your hormones. If you like this video, please like it, share it with other people that need to know about this, and subscribe to the channel to get more information about this type of topic. Do leave a comment if you like it, if you have more questions, if you want me to do a video about a different topic, and we have other videos, so check them out on the channel. Thank you so much for taking time to care and learn about your body. I hope this is helpful, and I will see you in the next video.